Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. The former Energy Minister, Boakye Agyarko, has disclosed in a Joy News exclusive interview that he will be running for president. The governing New Patriotic Party will soon commence the search for a successor to President Akufo-Addo, whose task will be to lead the party as its flag bearer in the 2024 elections. Now, even before that search begins, Boakye Agyarko says he will be the best bet for the NPP in the next election. On the government appointee, also the former government appointee, also dismissed claims that he is not in good terms with President Akufo-Addo. Listen.
Are you first of all in the race, standing and making that firm decision that, well, I want to lead my political party?
Absolutely.
Going into the future?
Absolutely.
You're running for president?
Yes.
Why?
Zeal for service of my country and party. Zeal for service of my country and party.
How determined are you to achieve that target?
Absolutely. This is not a matter you trifle with, right? It must attract your full commitment, right? Drink deep or touch not. So I'm not going to trifle and play around and then say, well, no. I'm committed to it, and I will do the best I can as God makes me able to achieve it.
And what you are in for will definitely open you up for some assessment in terms of what it is that you've done in the past, in your service, public service and other opportunities that you've served in or capacities that you've served in the past. One of them that comes to light, obviously, would be Minister for Energy. You still insist that your integrity is intact regardless of the circumstances surrounding your resignation.
What is the impugning of integrity? President said, I gave you the job, I want you to give my job back to me. End of story.
Was it as simple as that?
Yes. Has anybody accused me of stealing money? Have you heard anything like that? He who alleges must prove. If you are inquisitive enough and want to find out, you ask the president. Why did you sack him? He may have other reasons, right, that I may or may not know. So you ask the authoritative decision maker as to why he took a certain decision. You
have your own judgment about that situation.
My judgment is unimportant. Whether I agree or not, that is his. That decision is his to make, unfettered.
I guess you may not be necessarily bothered about what's happening in terms of your decision to resign, but many argue that it will definitely come up. You have to work with the same class of people or group of people if indeed you want to succeed as the presidential candidate. Even if you get to win, these are the same elements that you'll be dealing with. For instance, it's been alleged that you're not in good terms with the president.
Who alleges?
When was the last time you spoke to the president?
Do you have to speak to somebody, or the fact that you're not speaking to somebody means you're on bad terms with the president?
But this is supposed to be your good friend, someone you've worked with on a project to win political power. Boakye Agyarko, when was the last time you spoke to the president? Something is not right.
No, that doesn't mean anything. You see, to impugn hatred or something amiss because somebody hasn't spoken to somebody, I think it's ridiculous. Right? My best friend in the world is called Godwin Boateng. He lives in the US. We haven't spoken for 2 years. But deep down in our hearts, we know what bonds us. I haven't spoken to Gordon in 2 years. And if we should meet today, it will be like we've never missed a step. So that is trifle. Right?
But working relationship is key, you agree? These are your former colleagues, these are persons you served with in government. At least you should maintain some cordial relations with them.
I do have cordial relations with a lot of people in the party.
Including the president?
What is cordial relation? When we meet, we are very decent and civil with each other. Right? Like most of my colleagues. Naturally, I'm a hermit. Right? So if I haven't spoken to somebody, you cannot impugn discord or hatred. I think you'll be driving the ball too far.
Join News Prime with me, Ernest Benu, and Boakye Agyarko has been talking more about his ambitions to be president in the country. In the next bite, he tells my colleague Blazer Suga what presidency with him would look like and indeed what he'll be running with. Here are the details.
What will be your number one priority?
Employment. Employment. The cost of unemployment to this nation is huge, both in monetary terms and in the psychological terms. The kinds of frustrations that I see young people go through is heartbreaking. The kinds of indignities that young people particularly, and the unemployed in general, have to bear is a huge cost. Resources that are unemployed are not contributing to your GDP. Rather, they are a drain on the GDP. So the bigger your unemployment, right, the more difficult your growth pattern. I'm just reading a fantastic article written by two economists, the determinants of growth in the Ghanaian economy. And they hit the nail right on the head. It's employment, not just human employment, employment of resources. If you cannot use your resources in an optimum way, or your resources are employed in a suboptimal way, it's a cost to you. So for me, my number one consideration is employment of our people and our resources. That is where we have to get it right.
And then on corruption, it's been a challenge confronting the nation as well, many calling for drastic measures to deal with it. What will be your approach?
Corruption is a huge problem, human nature. So when I sat at the Bank of New York and I looked at the numbers, I was probably, my P&L was probably a little over $1 trillion on a daily basis. My write-offs or set-asides, I, with X signature, could set aside or write off probably $150,000 on a daily basis. These were all temptations, right? Wow. So have you seen this TikTok, the black hole?
Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure.
Where a guy discovers a piece of paper and he puts it down and he can reach into things that are locked.
Oh.
So wow, so he sees the safe and puts it on the safe and he's able to reach into the safe and start taking, he took all the money, then he entered the safe himself. And then the paper fell off. So he couldn't count. Right. The temptations are there. But I also knew that the bank had systems whereby by 4:15, right? Any malfeasance will be caught. The fear of being caught in itself is the restraint. So we have to put in systems that can tell you what is going on almost in real time. And when you are caught, the punishment must be obvious, right? Measurable punishment so that it serves as instructions to the many.
I'm sure that definitely, as the time goes on, we'll try and explore some more of the ideas and plans that you have to execute, if indeed you're giving the opportunity. Eventually, it is the party, your delegates, that would have to give you that opportunity.
Definitely.
What's your message to the delegates? At least they're at one stage now. Finally, what's your message to them, expecting that that opportunity will be there where you'll be presenting yourself to them?
I always tell the generality of the party this. My party, right or wrong, I stand by you. We have to stand by this party and make sure that we have a leadership that is inclusive, a leadership that rewards service, and a leadership that will stand up and make them proud to say that I'm a member of the NPP. Because that leadership will be delivering the goods and services that our people need.
Your good friend Ken Japon is also in the race. I hope you know that.
Oh, definitely.
You wish him well?
Certainly.
And well,
I wish everybody in the race well.
have you spoken to him ever since you decided to run?
Oh yeah, I have known Ken probably 30 years, 40 years. I haven't spoken to him probably in 5 months now, but
let's see how it goes. Good friends contesting the same elections, but
remember that even brothers can contest in an election.